Welcome, everyone. Today we have some brief information about the digital citizenship games and interactives that we have offered from Common Sense. And we're just going to do a brief intro today to show you exactly what we have for all of them. So let's get started. Today, we're just going to be going over what are the digital citizenship games and interactives that we have at Common Sense, give you a brief intro to all three, and then we'll do a quick discussion on how and where can you use these videos. So they are all located at the commonsense.org/education website. You'll see them listed under the digital citizenship tab that's all the way on the left. And then all of the student games are located on the right here, 1, 2, and 3, digital passport, digital compass, and social media test drives. And so all three games are available for you. They are for grades 3 to 5 on digital passport, grades 6 to 8 on digital compass, and middle school grades 6 to 8 for social media test drive. Digital passport is, sorry, were you going to say something, Tali?
I was just going to say, as with all of Common Sense's resources, we have these recommendations for grade levels, but your students best. So you can always feel free to skew older or younger and pick and choose.
Absolutely. And we've also seen a lot of folks who are teaching students with special needs do a lot of adjustment on that. Some of them require more text reading. And also, so just make sure that you understand who your audience is and what your kids are going to like best, as always. They're all intended to be played on a laptop or desktop computer through a browser. And all of them have an accompanying educator guide that help you as a teacher implement these best. Doing, for example, with digital passport, there is an opening icebreaker type activity. The kids play the game, and then afterwards you do a debrief and figure out how this might apply to their own situation. So all of them are, they're fabulous, and they all have some guidance for you as a teacher. All right, so let's get started. Let's look at the first one, digital passport. I wanted to mention, it's now available in Spanish, in case you did not know. This one has been around the longest. Yay, we're so excited that it's available in Spanish. If you wanted to just go directly there, it's at digitalpassport.org. And you as a teacher can assign individual games through Google Classroom as well. And so I wanted to mention that feature. It features these individual mini games, and they are very much like video games. There is the one that we'll demonstrate today called Twalkers. That's all about multitasking. There's one about a short mini game about protecting your privacy and how to create a good password. There's one about searching and how to select good search terms called Search Shark. There is one related to cyberbullying and being an upstander. That one is Evolve. Share Jumper is about privacy and what you should be sharing about others. And then there's the last one here about creative credit. Do them in any order, do them however you feel your students will enjoy, or let them choose, even better. So I'm just going to demonstrate. I have a short clip here from Twalkers, and you'll see that it is very much, I'm going to turn the sound off. It is very much a game. I'm playing this game. I'm not as good at it as I'm sure many of your students are, but you drag these little Twalkers into the correct building. But at the same time, you are answering a telephone with some of these questions, right? And the first couple rounds, you're trying to do two things at once. And it is proving very difficult. It is very hectic. And on the last round, your phone is dead. And you just get to drag these guys into their little spaces. It's quite clever. And then your score just rockets up, showing you that doing one thing at a time may improve your efficiency, even though you think you can do two things at once. Really, if you focus and concentrate on one thing, your skills are much better, right?
I did this one with a fourth grade class. And it was so funny. Afterwards, one of the kids said, I see people on their phone and walking around all the time. I had no idea how hard it was. And another kid was like, yeah, I'm going to remind my mom not to do that anymore. That's dangerous.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So be careful what you show them. Okay. So this next one here, I'm going to move on to the next game, and it's called Digital Compass, and it is intended for a little bit older grades, and it's also available in Spanish, which I am so thrilled about. And it is for use on browsers through your desktop or laptop computers, and there is the direct URL right there if you want to go directly to it. And this one is more of a choose your own adventure type game, and we'll see that demonstrated in a second. But these are all the topics that are covered in this game, depending on which character career you choose to follow. And so each of them is associated right here with some of the lessons. Also, the digital passport ones can be associated with the lesson too. But this one, I'm showing you a little bit about what the topic area is that's covered here. And so I'm gonna show you the intro to Digital Compass, and then we'll begin one of the characters, and you can kind of see what the tone is of this game. And also, as a reminder, when you start a new game, these can be saved individually on each computer. There you go. There's my username that I just created in 2 seconds for the sake of this video.
Welcome to Anywhere. These kids may not look like you and me, but trust me, their days are just like ours. Jam-packed from sunup to sundown, with friends, school, family, and other commitments. Oh, and of course, there's some drama too. Explore their worlds by taking a walk in their shoes. In Anywhere, it's up to you to help them make some real-world decisions in their daily lives. Some big, some small. The choices you make will determine their fate, and the outcomes could be good, bad, or downright ugly. The direction you take them is up to you. Test your street cred in this digital world of ours. Where are you headed? Find out with Digital Compass.
All right, so you'll see here that I selected one of the characters, and her name is Wink, and we're gonna walk through her experience, and your students will be able to make a choice.
Can't believe summer is almost here. Time to finally look for that internship you've been talking about for weeks. You hope there's still something worthwhile on the career board. Awesome Ad LLC. Photo changer and design it up.
So with that one, you go through Wink's adventure, you make choices for her on how she's going to be obtaining this internship and some of the choices that she's going to make. So that is Digital Compass. They're all fun, they're all interesting, and they're designed to be played multiple times.
And it's a great way for kids to safely explore making wrong choices too, and seeing those outcomes and consequences.
Excellent. Yeah. So your kids can play and try out different endings and see what happens with some of the better choices and some of the, what we might consider to be worse choices. This last one here that I wanted to show you is our newest one. It's called Social Media Test Drive, and it is again for, intended for middle grades, and it is a simulation. It's a social media simulation. And these are the topics that are covered. And it was developed in partnership with the Cornell University Social Media Lab. And we worked with them to kind of think about some of these issues that students are facing when they are using social media. And so you'll see that each of these topics include, privacy, your digital footprint, upstander, and so on. So similar to what we cover in the Common Sense curriculum, but you'll also see that there's an associated lesson with these as well. And so I just wanted to give you a taste of Social Media Test Drive in case this is something that you have not quite seen. And this is straight off of the Social Media Test Drive page.
Each module is a social media environment that students can explore while learning how to overcome a digital challenge. Each module is designed to scaffold students' introduction to social media, and they're organized into 4 sections. In the Learn section, students are introduced to key digital citizenship concepts and vocabulary. Then, they are taken to the test drive timeline. This first introduction to the timeline environment features pop-up boxes that teach students about things they might encounter on social media, as well as things they can do in case they experience a red flag feeling.
So with this simulated social media environment, it's intended to look like a social media timeline. And in the beginning, your students, again, as Daniel said, they're scaffolded in this learn environment. They are then given an opportunity to practice some of these concepts that they are acquiring. And then they are given an opportunity to explore on their own in this simulated social media environment. And then the last part is they are given an opportunity to reflect. So with all 3 of these games, again, we're trying to help you figure out where these can be used and how these interactives can be introduced to your students. So I have a few suggestions here. So for example, before or after teaching a digital citizenship lesson is the way a lot of teachers use it. So all of these, again, all these topics and all these modules are associated with the lesson from the curriculum. And then I also thought, at the beginning of the year, while introducing students to technology, kind of as a boot camp, as an introduction, complete these games, complete all these modules, and then we will have some discussion, some debrief, and then be able to pass out our devices or be prepared to use the technology in our classrooms. Or the other thought I had was, I've seen a lot of teachers use this as an asynchronous activity. So to be completed in free time, of course, or also sent home to be completed with families. Talia, did you have any other thoughts on that?
I was just thinking about social media test drive, which you shared as our newest one. What I appreciate there is that I feel like while simulating a social media environment, it's also really causing students to go through our digital citizenship dispositions of having them slow down and reflect. They're considering other perspectives, and then they're taking appropriate action and so forth. And so everything you said, I think it's a great intro or a great way, to follow up too. And I love the idea of sharing it at home with families to give them an idea of what they're learning at school.
Absolutely. So the question here that we have is, for all of you, which game are you going to start with, right? Where are you going to start, and how are you going to get started with your kids? Thank you so much for joining us on this, brief webinar about the Common Sense digital citizenship games and interactives.